Hello and welcome back to session 3 of the Youth Catalyst podcast. It's so good to have you with us. We've got so much planned for you today, and we are joined by someone very special. Someone who we love, you love. We've had letters written in asking for him back on the pod. Everyone wants to know. Chester is with us.
Hello. It's good to be back on the podcast. I'm excited for today. It's gonna be good.
Yeah,
it's gonna be really good.
So Chester, just in case if anyone missed the last time you were on the pod, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah.
Tell everyone how you know the Youth Catalyst project.
Great. Yeah. So I'm Chester. I'm the production lead on the Youth Catalyst project. So I get to work with these guys every day, which is super fun, and we get to do awesome worship gatherings all over the Guildford Diocese. I grew up in Dorking, spent 21 years of my life there, and then I moved away recently. But it's good fun. It's good fun. Love working with you guys.
No,
he has to say that.
Have to, yeah. Hostage situation.
Amazing. Well, Chester, we've been asking a question for everyone that comes on to this series of the pod, just to start the ball rolling on the question of like spiritual discipline. So if I say discipline to you, what does that spark in your brain? Where does that take you?
It's really interesting you asked me that, because I've been on a real journey of learning what true discipline is. Because I think there's different types of discipline. You get discipline when you're growing up. So at school, I was getting disciplined a lot because I was always getting in trouble, doing things I shouldn't do. Whereas now I'm getting a bit older, I think discipline has become more of my own thing, where I have boundaries and I'm saying, actually, no, I'm gonna not do that, or I'm gonna do that because I said I will. And it's kind of more of an internal discipline rather than someone externally disciplining me.
Love that.
That's my thoughts.
That's so good. That's so good, mate. Thank you. And I mean, I think that's the kind of journey that we're hoping to take people on with the pod, right? Is that sometimes discipline feels like something that can be negative. I had similar experiences at school, disciplined quite a lot, and not as a positive experience, but actually that can be really like a life-giving, beautiful thing. And that kind of moves us on to our subject today. Kate, why don't you introduce everyone to what we're going to be speaking about today?
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about fasting, which is a huge subject, right? And we're going to be looking at La Bible.
Love that.
We've been looking at Matthew, and we've kind of had this thread of Jesus talking in a similar chapter of Matthew, but right now we're going to look at Matthew 6. And Jesus very explicitly talks about fasting in quite like a intense way, I would say, but like there's so much gold in it. Jesus is talking to a bunch of people. He's saying, when you fast, do not look gloomy like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces, and their fasting may be seen by others. Truly I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, that your fasting may not be seen by others, but by your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow. That's good.
It's good. I just wanted to kind of frame all of that, our discussion around that, because I think it's really helpful for Jesus to like challenge us, hugely challenging passage. But I think as well, it's a lot of language that seems really foreign, I think, to us in our day. For people in Jesus' time, it would have been a lot more familiar. But I think there's a lot of stuff to be talked about around it.
Absolutely. I suppose for some young people listening, they might be going, fast? What is that? Could someone get the ball rolling for us on what does it mean to fast?
Yeah, I'd say like biblical fasting is giving up something to show that you're relying on more than material possessions and worldly things to live. It's saying, Lord, I rely on you, I rely on your grace and your peace. I rely on my relationship with you more than I do social media or maybe food or coffee and tea or caffeine, whatever that might look like. It's a way of saying, actually, God, you're bigger than the material things I rely on.
Yeah, that's good.
I just asked ChatGPT about what the etymology of the word fast, like where the word fast comes from.
No.
Comes from a longer word that I can't say.
Great.
I thought that'd be really,
Give it a go.
Really rich. It says it comes from an old English verb, but there's like a backwards A in it. Can you help?
No way.
I'm dyslexic.
Is it like Feistin?
Feistin.
Feistin?
It's like
This is great content. I'm glad.
feisting.
I'm so glad I brought it
Was it? Is it like the northern word? Fasting.
Fasting.
It's fasting. I don't know.
in. Shout out to anyone from the North that's
Yeah.
listening. We
Come
love
on.
you.
Yeah.
You're so welcome
So
here.
funny.
But yeah, I think that's a great, what you gave us, the description was really helpful. Much better than my ChatGPT entry. Just, have you had any experience of it? I suppose a lot of people will give up something for Lent.
Yes.
And they try different things. Have you tried anything for Lent?
Yeah. So
How's that gone?
I normally give up caffeine.
Oh, right.
I mean, I didn't actually do it this year. I think I was just in a super busy season. I was like, I need all the help I can get. But normally caffeine is a big one. I'm a little bit of a caffeine addict. I love my tea and coffee. And the first 5 days are rubbish because I get like pounding headaches and it's,
Oh, bro, you're an addict.
oh, like
That's
full,
proper.
yeah, like bad. I get really bad, but I feel so much better afterwards.
Yeah.
And I actually always debate, like, do I go back to it? It's always really interesting. I give it up, regret giving it up, and then about a week in, I'm like, actually, I feel better in myself.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something I should leave full stop. And then I'd have like a bad night's sleep, and then be like, oh, I need a cup of tea. So yeah, I try and do that every year for Lent.
That's big. How about you, Kate? Have you ever had any Lent success in fasting?
Yeah, I once went veggie for Lent, which
nice.
was, but then broke it by accident because I went to Subway and like ordered my normal order, which is chicken sandwich, and then took one bite into it and was like, oh, I'm supposed to be veggie for 40 days.
When you said by accident, I thought it was going to be like something subtle in there.
Yeah.
It was just like I just was so on autopilot. I love Subway so much,
Oh,
and
I love
it's
it.
same every
Yeah.
time I go.
I'm
Yeah.
so intrigued. Did you waste the sandwich and stick to your veggie dal, or did you just go, oh, scrap
Nah,
it?
surely you got to finish the sandwich.
I
Yeah.
did, yeah.
Come on.
I was
Great.
like, sorry, God.
We
Great.
take fasting seriously.
Yeah.
That was my fasting fail. But my fasting win this year was that I gave up TikTok for 40 days,
Great.
and actually made me a much happier human being when I wasn't just like
Yeah.
aimlessly
Real.
scrolling for ages. And do you know what? Haven't been on it half as much as I used to.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
it's kind of like
That's really
purged
good.
it out of my system. But
I've never lasted the whole 40 days of anything for Lent.
Really?
Like,
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I've tried sugar a couple
Yeah.
of times.
Yeah.
And it gets you, like, I tried fasting from sugar, and like, my favourite bit of the day was having like a little multivitamin in the morning because it was like the sweetest thing that I had that day. I would like
so
crave it.
Do you know, it's interesting because some people with Lent, they think that you can have what you've given up on the Sunday because it's the day of rest.
yes, yeah.
And I quite like the idea of that.
Yeah.
It makes it a bit easier, doesn't it?
When,
But, I mean, I don't
when was
do
the
it, but-
Subway?
Maybe
Maybe
it
was on a
maybe
Sunday.
you're fine.
I
Maybe
don't
you were
know.
fine.
Subway
Wow.
Sunday.
I was very young, so
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, there we go.
My family used to do it like that though.
Yeah, I think a lot of people
cool.
do.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do.
Does that still count? We need an official.
I think so.
theological-
I think so. Purely because, and this is what I think I'd love to talk about with this scripture as well, is it really comes down to the intent of your heart, doesn't it?
Come on.
Like if you're giving up something for Lent or something like fasting just like because your mates are doing it or something, I don't know. It's not really kind of the point. Whereas if you're like, actually, no, Lord, I'm gonna give this up for you, and in the same way that the Lord rested on the seventh day,
Yeah.
if you can have like a sweet treat or whatever it is you're giving up on the Sunday as
Yeah.
like a restful way, I think it's about where your heart's positioned when you go into it.
That's so good. That's so good. And that's so true of fasting. Like, it is about the motivation behind it rather than God being a kind of officious rule keeper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
be like, well, Kate, I can see you've had a chicken Subway. This fast is now stricken from the record books.
Yeah, that's it.
It doesn't count. So yeah, mate, I hear you. It's definitely about the heart behind the fast. And let's dig into that a little bit. Like, why fast? What is the what's the reason for it? Jesus is assuming that people already are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's saying
Yeah.
like, don't make a fuss about it when you are. So he's kind of saying
Yeah.
this is pretty key. Kate, what's behind fasting? What's the kind of point?
I think it's fascinating because the passage says when you fast.
Yeah.
It doesn't say if.
If.
I think it's like in Jesus's language and his teaching, it's on the same level as prayer.
Yeah.
And if I fasted as much as I prayed, I would fast a million times more. Like, if I held them in the same regard. And I think I once heard like the most amazing preach about fasting, and it was someone saying it's like praying with your body.
Oh, that's good.
Like it's saying like, Lord, I'm on a physical level. Like I believe that my human body is like a temple of where the Holy Spirit lives, and so I'm going to engage it in worshipping you. Yeah. And it's tricky to walk the line of, because we were saying earlier, like it's not twisting God's arm of like, oh, I want this so bad, I'm gonna like just stop eating. So I love to think of it, and often when I fall into that trap of like, oh, I really want it, so I should fast. It's like praying 2.0. It's actually, it's like, it's just a different type of prayer. It's like, if I was to give something up, it's to make more space for God to move. And because I'd go about it when I was like a teenager, when I was first hearing about it and trying it. I remember we did it in our youth group when we were young. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Years and years ago. And I was like, oh, maybe
so, sorry, Kate and Chester went to the same youth group.
We did. We grew up together. Come on.
Sometimes I feel left out.
Yeah.
And I'll have little jokes. And do you remember when Stacey McDoofle said that to Thingy, and then that happened?
Great life,
and I'm like, oh my gosh. No, I don't remember.
Well, when Jamie was...
Keep bringing it up, Kate. Jeez.
Yeah, that's it.
Good times.
That's right, yeah.
But we fasted in our youth group, and I remember thinking, oh, maybe like every time I feel hungry, I'll like say a prayer. But actually, it's like so much more three-dimensional than that. Yeah. Of like, as I've grown up and fasted more, like the more I do it and the more I like different things you try out with it, it's like, actually this is like a bodily response. It's something is going on in the realm of the supernatural that I'm not even aware of. Like engaging myself in this type of prayer is super powerful, because it's like all of me is praying. It's not just my mind. Yeah. And I think it makes us like more in tune with, okay, God really is my provider. God's like given me everything that I need. And if I didn't have him, then I wouldn't have anything. And so what's it like to solely rely on him? It's like Jesus in the wilderness, isn't it? When he fasts for crazy...
don't do that,
Don't do that. It's not a good idea.
Not Jesus.
But Jesus' response every time was like, the Lord's all I need. Like immediately.
Absolutely. Come on. Just to jump off what you said as well, it comes back to what I was saying right at the beginning when Jamie asked me kind of what is fasting. It's about laying down something, isn't it? And I think actually when Paul talks about kind of submitting yourself, and they often talk about it in the food context, but I think for us now it can also include things like TikTok, caffeine, whatever that might look like. And I think it's about saying actually, God, you're bigger than I am, and you provide far more than I provide myself. And actually I think, it's really good. I love what you said now. I'm just kind of slowly processing it, like about making more room. You're cutting out something in your life that takes up too much of your time or too much of your headspace, and you're saying, like, and that's when Jesus says, like, I want you to quieten your heart, quieten your mind. Actually, sometimes I find myself, I get so used to kind of the next thing on Instagram or the next cup of coffee, and suddenly my mind's constantly whirring, and even in my times with God, my mind's like shooting random thoughts all the time. Whereas when you fast or give up something, you're saying, Lord, I want to get better at meeting with you on a personal, intentional space.
I'd like to jump in with a little youth worker PSA here, public safety announcement, because before doing this job, I was a youth worker for like 10 years, and actually I discouraged my young people from fasting by cutting out food completely. Because I know so many young people that have that food isn't easy for. It's just not easy. It's not a simple part of their life. They have a complicated relationship with it, and so it can be the case that actually that could be not a particularly healthy way for them to express fasting. But I think actually there's still loads of options available. So it could be like a specific type of food that's not super healthy. I'm not saying like dinner, but like if you just really love, like what's your go-to if you went to the shop? I would definitely get, I think it would have to be a double decker.
Wow,
Yeah.
love that.
Double decker.
That's so good.
Or but like and maybe saying, well, I didn't need that like chocolate snack or whatever, and creating that space, because sometimes we do we rely on things to distract us. Sometimes that's food, sometimes that's social media, could be caffeine, could be like lots of different things that we kind of allow to take the place of God in some ways. But I could feel discomfort and go to God, or I could feel discomfort and get distracted by something straight away. And like we live in the kind of distracted age. So I'm if you're listening to this and you're thinking about maybe I'd love to try fasting, I want to like grow my relationship with God, I'd say pick something small.
Yeah.
And that's doable. And I'd like to expand the kind of like idea of fasting with my favourite chapter in the whole Bible. Isaiah 58. It's beautiful. Read the whole thing if you got time. But I'm going to jump in from verse 6. Now, the sort of preamble for this is that God's not very happy because people are praying to him, they're worshipping him, and they're even fasting. But they're not treating each other well, and they're acting with injustice, and God's not having it. He basically says, what do you expect from me if you kind of praise me like that, if you fast like that, but then you kind of strike each other with wicked fists if you don't do justice? Goes on to say this: is this not the kind of fasting that I have chosen, to loose the chains of injustice and untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressed free and to break every yoke? Is it not to share your food with the hungry and to provide the poor wanderer with shelter? Isn't that beautiful? And there are things that we can do. If I fast from fast fashion, do you know what? I can take a step out of an oppressive cycle.
Yeah.
There are ways in which we engage in the world which are like, actually, there's oppression embedded in them. And we can step out of that and see how it goes. But I suppose I wanted to highlight that just to provide other options, and maybe like that type of fasting is actually really active. It's not a passive thing, right?
Yeah, it's good.
But I think in doing that, if you do focus on injustice and setting people free, that's going to cost you as well. So I suppose I wanted to throw it to you guys and just ask, like, if we're being creative and suggesting ways in which people could fast, how might we encourage a young person to like tackle that, get stuck in? How do they start?
Yeah, well, I think like Jesus calls us to live sacrificially, doesn't he? And I think part of the reason that this fasting is so important is because when you get in a habit of denying yourself certain things, when other things like temptation or other things from the enemy come along, we're in a much more trained position to say no. Like I deny myself, for example, chocolate bars, I deny myself TikTok, so therefore when temptation comes along, I can deny myself that too. And it's about training yourself to be prepared for almost like a spiritual battle, isn't it?
That's good.
So I think it was really good what you said a minute ago, like actually for young people, and I'm gonna take that away and actually go and pray about that myself, is it doesn't, like, fasting food for a full day is a very big sacrifice, which we like, depending on your position, is maybe not the right thing to do. But by saying, actually, I'm gonna sacrifice something I do really enjoy. Like, I find it hard to go into Tesco and come out without a bag of crisps. So maybe I'm going to sacrifice that. I'm going to make it really strict and discipline myself and say, no, when I go in, I'm not coming out. Or when I get into bed, I scroll on my phone and suddenly I lose an extra hour's sleep because I've just got myself lost. Whereas it's saying, no, I'm going to sacrifice that, even though it's what I want, so I get better sleep or whatever that might be. And it's about training yourself. So I think maybe my suggestion would be choose something that you like a bit too much sometimes. And sacrifice it, not only just for your relationship with the Lord, but also in training yourself so that when other things come along, you're in better prep to deny yourself that as well.
Yeah, that's good.
I think there's, sorry to jump in, but there's just a lot around, like you said, a lot of that is done in secret. And in that passage we're talking about, like, I think we can get worried that we're not holy enough if we don't fast a certain way. If, like, I'm not giving up everything at once, like not doing it right, or, like I think actually what Jesus is talking about is comparison in that passage of like looking at other people and saying, but they're doing it that way, I should do the same. Is like God loves you, and he uses fasting to bring like himself to you, and I think there's like an element that we can feel scared of it, of like, oh, but if I don't fast, he's going to be angry at me. Like, actually, he's with you on the journey, and he loves you, and he's for you. And doing it in secret is such a good thing to do, because you're not comparing yourself to anybody else, and it's not performative, and it becomes about that genuine relationship, and it's only going to bring you closer to him and help you see him more if you take those smaller steps. It's like if someone's going on a diet, like you wouldn't encourage them to just stop eating food, like take it in slower steps. Or like if someone's only to run, just like run for a bit and then slow down. Don't try and run a marathon straight away. Like take it at your pace and have it be a thing between you and the Lord. Obviously, like the support of the church around you and the community around you is brilliant if you're doing it together, but it's about your growth of discipleship and in your relationship with him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you're struggling to decide on what to give up, just pray about it.
Come on.
Like allow the Holy Spirit to reveal that to you. And maybe that will be through having a conversation with maybe like a spiritual parent or whatever that might look like. You can say, hey, I want to do something, but I need some help here. But yeah, just pray about it as well. Let God reveal to you what he wants you to sacrifice.
That's good. Yeah, I think there's so much vying for our attention at the moment. And a lot of the things that we do, actually we do them in a kind of habitual way where it's not even like you intend to. It's just what you're kind of practiced in doing. And I suppose some of this can break those practices and divert you into something more beautiful and better for you. And actually, sometimes we have this negative frame of mind around discipline, that discipline is hard and it stops me from having things that bring me joy. And that's just not how I see it at all. Actually, like, I feel like there's a load of things which distract me and take me away from like, the deep waters of God. Because that's can be difficult. And if I just get distracted by the easy, I never get through to the true and the beautiful stuff. And I think fasting from like social media or from video games, like, I mean, how do you feel like after scrolling for 2 hours? You don't feel great.
No.
And how do you feel after like maybe like staying up late playing video games? Sometimes that can be cool, but like at the same time, if that becomes something that takes up a bunch of time, actually it's not really feeding you. Or like, I read a book that said, be aware of things that feed you but don't nourish you. And I think actually fasting is a good way just to like realign ourselves. Like, and I have to be so careful. Like I'm super impulsive, and I've made my phone slowly more boring to stop its grip on me. Every time I make it more boring, I find something. So initially I took off Instagram. I was like, great, okay, cool. And then I just found myself scrolling through YouTube. I was like, right, I get YouTube off. Then I found that I could get to YouTube through Safari. So I had to take Safari off my phone. So I haven't even got the internet on my phone.
Wow.
Do you know what I'm doing now? Chess.
Wow.
I'm sitting there playing chess. And it's because there's something within me, like when I sit down, I just grab it. I just grab it. So from our conversation today, should we delete the chess app? That's like simple. I'm gonna do it now. It's not great if you're listening to it. You can't hear it being deleted. Maybe if you could do a sound effect for me, Chester, that would be so good. I'm gonna do it now, Chester. Are you ready?
Wow.
We're gonna delete the chess app because it's really got a hold on my heart.
I want to hear the sound effect.
Ready?
That was terrible.
I was expecting something like,
well, I thought I'd disappoint.
Wow.
There we go. The chess app's gone.
The chess app is gone, and I feel free. I feel free.
Absolutely. And actually, I think that's really good. The words you used a minute ago is time. time is something that on one hand is difficult, but on the other hand is actually quite an easy way to start fasting.
Yeah,
It's like,
good.
what is taking up your time,
Cool.
and how can you better use that time to develop your relationship with God?
Yeah.
So maybe that's saying, okay, rather than like scrolling through YouTube on the toilet,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna read the Bible while I'm on the toilet.
Come
A
on.
bit of a wild suggestion, maybe.
Yeah,
Or
toilet-based
like,
fasting.
I even heard a challenge like when you go to the gym,
Yeah.
like you often listen to like hype music in the gym to make yourself feel better. But I heard a challenge. It was like, well, why don't you listen to the audio Bible while you're in the gym?
Wow.
And so it's not even like you don't have to stop doing something necessarily. It's just how can you better use your time sacrificially? Because actually, if I'm honest, sometimes the Bible's not a page turner.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder for me to pick up my Bible than it is to pick up Instagram.
Yeah.
So by you saying, actually, Lord, I'm going to lay this down so I pick up my Bible, that is a sacrifice. Because although you want a relationship with God, there might be things you'd prefer to do.
Yeah. It's good, man. It's good. So, if you've been listening along, thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the episode. It's been a total pleasure. And with all of these conversations around spiritual disciplines, what we want to leave you with is encouragement.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
So often when we approach these things, we end up feeling a bit naff. Young person, you're not naff. You are loved. We want to celebrate you and cheer you on.
Amen.
And any step you take towards Jesus, just know that He is cheering you on.
Yeah.
And loving you into
Absolutely.
that kind of deeper and increasing relationship with Him. And we're gassed for you as well. We're super excited.
Absolutely.
Come on,
Who knows
absolutely.
what that will bring and all the positivity that comes when we walk closely with the Lord. So, come join us again next week, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Week 4.
Oh my gosh, it's flying by.
Yeah.
We will see you then. Take care.
Bye.
Have a good one. Cheers.